All right, in this video, we're just going to go over our little cheat sheet for the standard symbols and abbreviations and dimensions for our A plan. So let's go over that right now. All right, so we are going to go back and forth between here and a set of plans. So let's see where. Okay, so we're ready. All right, so when we talk about the architectural set, we are talking about the installation of or the construction of new walls, doors, windows, stairs, columns. Okay, and when we get into the MEPs, electrical, rooftop units, fans, sinks, toilets, okay, and all of that. And so these are the standard things that you'll find in a general architectural set. So remember, the architectural set will also include the MEPs, okay, in within the architectural set because they just do, okay. So the architectural set's going to have the MEPs in whatever detail, the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, in whatever detail uh, that is necessary for that project. In this video, we're going to talk about things specific to the A plans themselves and how they represent these three or four or five or six things. Okay, so walls, solid lines. Okay, it they may be thicker or thinner depending on if they are represented as 6 inch studs, or two by fours, 2 by 6, or 3 and 5/8, or 5 and 7/8. Okay, and if they have insulation, they may have like a um, something resembling like alternating light bulbs. So let's look. Let me put this A plan and look how they represent the walls. Okay, so everything on in your architectural set is going to tell you either what something is or to do something. And so when you look at your symbols and your lines and all that stuff, you have to be able to determine, okay, what's this symbol mean as opposed to the square? When the square is tilted, what are we doing? Oh, it's going through this line. What does that line mean? Okay, so here we're representing, or we're showing a representation of all of the different walls. And these are wall tags. Okay, so it's important to look at your symbols list in your very beginning set of your plans. You're going to have symbols, okay, and your symbols are going to tell you how the plans represent different things. Okay, so we know that this symbol is representing a wall type. Okay, and then see wall type legend. Okay, then we'll have a wall type legend where we'll go to and we'll look at each one of those. Okay, well, my B walls are metal studs. That is the type of metal stud. And then we have, whatever, B1, B2, A. Okay. And so, like I said, if it has insulation, you'll have the alternating, looks like light bulbs representation of insulation. And it'll point right to everything. If you have interior walls, you're going to have drywall on both sides. So, make note of that. Some of the walls, have drywall on one side. And so, yeah, everything in the set of plans is represented by a symbol. And it's important to, if you're new to it, you first look at the general symbols. Over time, you'll figure it out. Very quickly, you'll figure it out. Okay. And so, this is a lot of new doors. Okay, so again, everything on a set of plans, regardless of the set, is either telling you two things: what something is, or telling you to do something. The what something is in this case are these telling us this is wall E. To do something are the squares, and so they're numbered. And so every plan, we got to tell the contractor what to do, and that's how they tell them what to do. Okay, so contractor has to know, if I'm a framer, I'm using this set of plans to determine how many linear feet of that wall I have, but then I have to go somewhere else to determine the height of the wall. Okay. All of these symbols mean something. Okay. This is an interior elevation marker, meaning if I look at picture image number 1 on this page, it'll tell me all the finishes in the direction that that arrow is pointing. And so if I'm the finish contractor, I'm going to look at one over that, and it'll tell me all the finishes of what if I'm standing up in the room in this Ulta, it's going to tell me or show me exactly what I'm looking at. Okay, so different types of interior elevation markers and where they're located. This one is the same thing, but it looks like it's specific to only the door opening because where it's pointing to, and that's how we represent doors. Okay, this is a double door. It looks like wings. Okay, so this is a double door. And all of the doors have individual numbers, just like all the walls have individual, however they want to represent them. All the doors and windows have individual marks, and that's how we represent it. All the symbols are important. This is a detail call out. So this is telling me that whatever's in that circle, I'm going to go to that picture on that page, and it's going to tell me what I should do. And similar means I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, the same thing that I'm doing over here because it's similar, I'm going to do it over there. Okay, and then these are broken out a little different. The similar part most probably is associated with the things that are the same. Like these circles are the same. Okay, that's the same, that's the same. But see, what it's doing is calling out similar if it's on, see, and this gets crazy. Okay, because this is a call out for the whole for what this is connected to, and it looks like this right here is only connected to this. And so in terms of construction, 5 over A 2.0 is only talking about this, where we have other 4 over A 2.0 that's pointing to this. And then we have, oh, it's saying similar, so it's the same one. So whatever we're doing right here, we're doing right here. Okay, and 3 similar because this looks like that. Whatever we're doing here, we're doing there. And here, similar. The same thing here. We're doing same thing here that we're doing there. And then this one is a totally different call out. So this can get a little confusing. But what you're supposed to do, because we know what similar means, whatever we're doing in one spot, we're doing in the other spot. Let me see. This says similar. So yeah. Okay, so I see what it means by similar because this doesn't have anything on it. So, but it's a similar piece of construction. It looks like that one. So whatever I'm doing here, I'm doing there. And whatever I'm doing here, I should be doing on the other end that looks the same, which it is 4 over 2.0, which is this one. And I'm doing the same thing. It's crazy. But that's what all that means. Okay, and so you got to know what your symbols and your signs and your whatever, what that means. All right, so let's move that back. So we saw the walls and the doors. Where are the doors? We saw the walls, the doors, and this doesn't have any windows. Let's go back. Let me bring it back. So door, door. Sadly, what is this? Ulta? It's inside a mall or whatever. So it doesn't have windows, but it has the vestibule and probably storefront. But when we do another project, we'll show a window, and a window basically looks just like this, where it's not solid, representing a wall, and it looks like a frame, something like this, kind of just like that. because this is probably all glass. And so, yeah, a window is represented this way where it's clear, but there's a frame. And then it also has a number. So it's window A, window B, window whatever. Okay, so walls solid, you know, or not. And see, these right here, they're not telling us anything about this. So we're excluding whatever that is because they're not telling us anything about it. So I'm assuming it's not part of our construction. It's already there. It's something else. Okay, so your symbols and all of that is very important. All right, stairs. This doesn't have stairs, but a set of parallel lines with arrows indicating upward and downward direction. Right. Okay, that's pretty much what that looks like. And columns. We have some columns on this one. We have actually, so the column is typical. That's another phrase that's important. Meaning, wherever I see this type of symbol, which is here and I think and here. So there's three columns. Okay, those represent columns. So typical is telling me whatever construction I'm doing to this one, which is going to show me in detail 1 over A 2.0, I'm going to do to all of the ones that look like that. So to each one of those columns, it's probably just a column wrap of drywall up to 6 inches above the ceiling or something. Okay, so, and in terms of a takeoff, you just do the measurement for this once and times it by 3. And then you would know your material takeoff for your column. Okay, so important. And then the electrical outlets, let's go down to the MEPs. But that's a separate MEP class. Here's some, in the HVAC, we'll go over that separately, but that's a separate class. And again, this is the architectural set, but it also includes all of the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. And it's important to know all of those symbols too, because if you are the HVAC person, you probably are going to need to look at the reflective ceiling plan to see how, these are your supply grills in the ceiling. If there's a question about any error in any of the sets of plans, you should be able to look through it and determine if it makes sense. So yeah, the mechanical, electrical, and the plumbing all get their own sets of plans, and each of the symbols, each of everything we see here means something else. And again, those are separate classes. But this is the syllabus, pretty much the cheat sheet for the architectural set. So some of the abbreviations, AFF means above finished floor, so that's a linear. You'll say 11.11 2 inches AFF. That means above the finished floor. Okay, ceiling, column, ditto. I rarely see that. We see SIM like I saw, but ditto is, whatever. Exterior, interior, opening, typical. We went over that, vertical. And then the scale's very important. Okay, common to most floors, most commercial plans, the common floor plans are 1/8. Okay, but as you get larger site plans or whatever, it could be 3/32 or 1/16, something like that. So, and reading dimensions from hash mark to hash mark. Let me bring that back out so you can see what we mean, because a lot of the plans have dimensions already on it. So if you don't have a takeoff software, you could possibly use the dimensions that are on the plan to help you. So for instance, this is wall E all the way across. Well, we learned from grammar school, we should have, that if we have two parallel lines and a parallel line are two lines that will never cross. If they go stretch out into infinity, they will never cross. One of the lines being, ouch, one of the lines being the wall itself, and then the other line being the dimension that's going parallel to the wall. And so if we know that they will never cross, which they won't if we have two parallel lines, one is the measurement, one's the wall. If we know the measurement of one, we can assume that's the length of the other. And it's between the hash marks from hash mark to hash mark. This is a hash mark. And from hash mark to, in this case, the other hash mark is right here. The number in the middle tells us the actual length. So I know the actual length of this whole E-wall is 101 feet 4 inches. Okay, so that's how we read that. The width of this building from hash mark to hash mark is 49 feet 4 inches. So if you don't have a digitized software, dimensioned plans have the dimensions on it, and you can possibly use these to, if you don't have a digitized software, it'll get you close enough. Okay, and so let's see. That's pretty much the cheat sheet here. This is a starter to get you started. And if you have any questions, make sure you always email me at education@sfjohnsonconsulting.com. New classes every week, especially for the basics. And just reach out. Let me know if there's anything in particular you're struggling with. I'd be more than happy to make a video just for you. See you soon.